All right, you want to know the #1 secret to creating your purpose-driven expert niche, to chiseling that out? In this video, I'm going to share with you my top secret strategy that I have never shared publicly, and I'm going to walk you through it, and you can start to implement it today. So with that being said, you're going to want to grab a pen because we're going to be getting into that. Now, just to recap the last 2 videos, if you haven't seen them, we talked about in the first video why marketing broadly to a broad audience, trying to just go after websites and email lists, is not the answer and not the best solution and not the way to start. On the other hand, in the second video, we started to dive into purpose-driven expert niche and why having that a chiseled out, soul-satisfying area of expertise that is aligned with your soul's purpose is where the magic happens. So how do we uncover that? So in this video, we're going to dive into that. If you haven't watched those other 2 videos, though, make sure you go back there and do that right now, because it sets a framework for you to understand what is about to happen. Now, as I started working with health coaches who had come to me and asked for help as to how can they create a successful practice, and we started with carving out their niche, just asking people, what is your niche? Rarely proved beneficial. So this secret sauce strategy that I call my story gold mining process evolved out of the work that I've done with my 6-figure health coach clients. Because as we started to try and pull from them what was their area of expertise, a lot of times they didn't even know. I used to say it's such a part of you that it's like right behind your ear, but you can't see it. So we need to find a way to chisel off that excess marble, like I was sharing in the last video, and get at that core of who you really are. What is your area of expertise? And sometimes that's easier for me to spot than you. So as I looked at a process to refine through and sift through your entire life to find that gem that we're looking for, that gold that we're looking for, this is what I came up with. Story gold mining is the secret to carving out your purpose-driven expert niche and mining it for the gold that is always there. So with that, let's get into a comfortable position. I want you to get grounded. I want you to either, if you're sitting, sit with your sit bones firmly squared off. And if you're standing, have your feet firmly planted on the floor. I want you to sit up tall. I want you to take a big breath in and blow it all the way up. And again, I want you to take a big breath in and blow it all the way out. Now we're going to dive in, because remember, first video, we said the answer is not out there, it's in here. You know what you're meant to do. You know your areas of expertise. Now let's go chisel it out. I'm going to share my screen, and I want you to have a piece of paper and a pen handy, and I'm going to get you to go through this. Now you might be pausing this video several times as we go. So let me share my screen and we'll go through this. All right, so in order to mine your story for the gold that's there, what we are trying to do here is uncover your purpose, your soul's purpose, and uncover your expertise. And where those 2 points intersect is your purpose-driven expert niche that leads to a stream of ideal clients that leads to your 6-figure health coaching practice. So this is why we're doing it. Now, as we go through this, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. 10 questions here is what I'm going to ask you. As I go through them, I want you to let go of any tight timelines or preconceived ideas or notions or anything like that. We're just gonna light and easy tiptoe into your story. All right, it's anonymous. You can do it in the privacy of your own home there. So just grab a pen, and as we go through this, we're gonna do 5 questions and then another 5. I want you to write down your instant gut feel, quick answer, word association type of thing. You can come back later and come back and fill in details of the answer, but I want the one that pops into your mind when I first say this. So the first thing is, what was your rock bottom moment? What was that turning point, pivotal moment in your life? Now, we've all had several, but the one that just popped into your mind is the one I want. So for me, one of several was when I was 14 and my grandmother died of cancer. So that led me to want to help people live their longest, healthiest, happiest lives. That led me to medical school, that led me to become a doctor, that led me to become a health coach, to really help people live their longest, healthiest, happiest lives. And then leads me to the work that I'm doing now as I help you help people live their longest, healthiest, happiest lives. And that reach is now exponential. So for you, what was that one rock bottom moment? Then as you go through this, you, as I say, you will have several. So I had several. There was a reason why I left the hospital. There was that morning, that September morning, when I learned of not one but two of my medical colleagues, another guy that I went to medical school with and graduated with, and another radiologist that I had worked with who I heard had just committed suicide. And I walked into the next patient's room, and it was a medical doctor who I diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm like, I'm next. That was a rock bottom, pivotal moment. I'm like, I keep waiting for things to get better. It keeps getting worse. I'm next. This is not what I want to do. So there were several of these moments. So what was your rock bottom moment? Did you have an accident? Was there a brain injury? Was there a diagnosis? Was there a divorce? Was there a big move? Was there a job loss? What happened? Was there a death? So I want you to write down in one word or one sentence, what was the problem? What's the problem that happened at rock bottom? Alcoholic or whatever. What was it? Then I want you to write down, what was your demographic at that rock bottom moment? How old were you? Where were you living? What was your job? Were you married? Did you have children? Were you going to school? What job did you have? What was that? So write down your demographic in like a sentence. Next, I want you to write down what emotions describe how you were feeling at rock bottom. Were you angry? Were you embarrassed? Were you ashamed? Were you feeling guilty? Were you overwhelmed, frustrated? What were you feeling? Sad, depressed, apathetic? Write that down. And you might want to pause this video and write that down. What were those emotions? So take a moment, pause the video, write down the emotions you were feeling at rock bottom. Tap into what that was. All right, now, if it's rock bottom, it's gotten better. So what changed to make it better? What was the solution? So did you get a diagnosis and you finally came across a naturopath that set you on your way, or maybe you started a certain diet, or you improved your gut health, or you implemented something, you started to meditate, you did yoga, what did you do? You read a book, you met somebody. What happened that turned that around to make it better? Now, if you're still in rock bottom, this is not your niche. You're in it. You're in the story of it. You cannot help someone through it. You don't have to be all the way to the other end of it, but you do have to have a track record. If you have 200 pounds to lose and you've not lost an ounce, you cannot help someone lose 200 pounds. If you have 200 pounds to lose, but you've already lost 200 pounds, you can totally help someone lose 200 pounds because you know how to do that. It's just a matter of time before you get all the way there. So it depends on if you have a track record in this. So presumably a rock bottom was a turning point that led you to do something different. That was a meaningful moment that changed things. So what was the solution in a nutshell? If you could say, what was it that happened? What changed? Your diet, your move. Now there's lots of things. Feel free to put a few things in there. But as much as possible, just highlight or bold or circle or star the real main solution. There'll be lots of things that you did, holistically approached that we are, but there was one thing that was like critical. Then I want you to list what got better and the emotions you felt after you made those changes. So you were feeling awful before, and then what did you feel after? Energized, alive, excited, happy, joyful. What was it that you felt? Empowered, confident? What was it that changed? How did you feel after you installed the solution? What was the solution? Then what got better? My sleep got better, my energy got better, my mood got better. What got better after you installed that change? Okay. And then just take another couple breaths. If you need to pause this and finish writing, you can. All right. Okay, now you're gonna like this part. Let's shake it off. Shake it off, because sometimes some of that's a little bit triggering. We're just tiptoeing in here, nothing too major. All right, now we're gonna dive into your strengths. This is fun. So when have you felt the most alive and happy? What were you doing? Were you sailing? Were you hiking? Were you running? Were you being with family? Were you not being with family? When have you felt the most alive and happy in your entire life? And then, what are you passionate about and love to do? Nobody has to tell you to do it. You can do this all day, every day. What is it that you love to do? And if you want, you can pop in if you know what kind of work do you love to do if you want. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. Just talk about, just in general terms, love to go cycling, or I love to go for walks in the woods. And if you know who you like to help and what you like to help them with, go for it if that's what you love to do. And then what do others say that you're good at? Are you good at speaking? Are you good at listening? Are you good at writing? Are you good at organizing? Are you good at nutrition or fitness? What is it that you're good at? Write some things down. That wellness, what is it that you're good at? Music, art, storytelling, athletics, what is it that you're good at? And now, what are your natural gifts, strengths, and characteristics? So there's things that other people have said that you're good at, but then there's also some things that you know you're good at. It's okay. We're just doing this for us. What are your natural gifts, strengths, and characteristics? All right. Then the last question here for this exercise is, how would you change the world if you could? There's something that is so meaningful for you. What is that? How would you change the world if you could? If time and money are no object, you can have whatever resources you want. What would feel good for you? I'm going to be sharing with you a case study coming up in a couple of videos here. And that was pivotal for one of my clients' six-figure success. So how would you change the world if you could? What is it that is meaningful for you? All right, so that's the core of the story gold mining process. I want you to write those answers down. Over the next day or two, contemplate them. Things will pop into your mind. Don't force it. It's not something that you have to like really wrench out. Just ask the questions and then allow the answer to come to you. You will be given little inklings. Things will happen. How I started writing Free to Heal. I was writing my book, and how I started working with health coaches is I had, over the years, lots of health coaches ask me for tips. And then one asked me, can you help me create a signature program? And I said, no, I'm writing my book. And within 3 days, there were 3 people. And that is how I started working, because within a week then there were 9, and so on. And that has been a turning point again. So you will have your own turning points. So I was asking the question about how can I best serve people, because I wanted to write a really great book that would help health coaches get their message out into the world. And then I was open enough to allow an even better way of serving people. And this, what we're doing here with this 6-part video series that's free, is another way to help serve you better, to get your message out into the world. All right, so as we go through this process, we have been chiseling out, taking off the big chunks of marble that are covering your truth, your inner beauty. We're going to let that shine. We're going to awaken your inner healer, align it to your soul's purpose and your area of expertise to carve out that purpose-driven expert niche. And this is key to accelerating your health coaching practice. And also, I wanted to let you know that this is what we're going to be diving into in the Health Coach Accelerator course that'll be opening up in a few days. If you're serious about creating a successful health coaching practice and accelerating it up, you're going to want to know about this. We're going to refine that purpose-driven expert niche even more, chisel it out even further, create client attractive messaging, cultivate your 90-second story, your social media messaging, and so much more. So somewhere on here, you'll see a button to click to join the early access waitlist. If you're wanting in and you are going to want a spot, then you got to click on that early access waitlist in order for you to have a shot at that. So do that, because I'm only going to be working with a small handful of people. Now, as you've carved out your purpose-driven expert niche, and as you contemplate the answers to that, if it feels too narrow, you're right on track. It's going to feel like there's not that many people that would fit this. That's it. That's exactly it. Know that if it's new and it feels unfamiliar, it can feel a bit off, which is different than really feeling off and toxic and not working in a job that you like. That's different. This is new, like when you get a new haircut and it ends up being good, it's just you weren't used to it. So it just takes a while to get used to it. So, or if you move to a new location, that's great, but it's new, so it feels a bit unfamiliar and a little awkward. That's okay. So it should feel narrow, but it should excite you, and it should be people that you would love to work with in areas that you would love to work with, that you have an area of expertise in, and that would be fun to do because you're really good at this. That's key. And if you feel like I already know who I might want to help, great, that's fantastic. If you're like, still have no idea who I want to help, no problem. That's very common at this. We've chiseled off the big excess chunks. We've asked the questions. Now you're going to allow that answer, and we're always going to be refining and sculpting that niche into place and making it better and better and better and more refined. So that's part of the process. And sometimes your niche, your purpose-driven expert niche feels too easy. Like, well, that can't be it. Helping show people how I eat.
That was easy.
It can be like that. So know that that absolutely can be it. If it solves a problem that people are wanting to solve, that is valuable. All right, if you've enjoyed this video, you're probably going to want to dive into that Health Coach Accelerator course, hop on that early access waitlist. And in the next video, I'm giving you the complete plan from beginning to end. Every single step, I'm going to outline what you need to take to not only kickstart, but accelerate your health coaching practice. So you're definitely going to want to join me there. Hop on over into the next video, and we'll see you there. Be good for you.